Good afternoon, Craig here, February 23. I've just finished Act 6.4 as part of Phase 4 outline planning. So that's it. Phase 4 is finished. It's not the morning, it's the afternoon. I'm not in the shed, I'm in bed. I had a pretty busy day after a pretty busy week, but I got there. So it's ready to write now. Just need to it's exactly what I want to do. It feels great to have finished phase 4. I've had a really solid two full months, 2 and a bit months of planning. So I mean, I guess, tracking through to the start, I had phase 1 was just initial thoughts and ideas that started at the end of December when I first had an idea about this novel. It's just a very cursory plan at that stage. And then phase 1 ended when I started to build, well, when I built, I guess phase 1 ended the day that I quickly put out a whole novel plan for what the narrative was going to be and the two halves of the novel and the trajectory there. So really, the moment that I pushed save on that, phase 1 came to an end. Phase 2 started then by breaking down that whole plan into smaller parts. So I had the two halves of the novel. I then had 6 chapters across the novel, and then in each chapter I had 5 acts that I planned, and I had all that written out. No, is that right? Two halves. I keep forgetting this. The novel's got 2 halves, part 1 and part 2. There are 6 chapters across the novel, 3 chapters in part 1, 3 chapters in part 2. Then I have, each chapter has 4 acts. So 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. Each act has 5 scenes. That's what I did for phase 2. I planned out each scene for each act, for each chapter, for each part of the book. And that took about a month of January to do that. And then phase 3 was a reflective period of going back through all of those scenes and acts and chapters and parts to contemplate, does it make sense? What are the relationships? Are they logical? Does everything make sense? Are all the connections within the book okay? And I establish a lot more background, a lot more contextual information that instantly, one day in particular, just instantly enriched the book to a whole new level. And then I had to work out how those were going to play into the structure of the novel. So that's when phase 4 came about. In phase 4, which started at the end of January, I think, start of Feb, the plan there was to break down each scene into 3 micro scenes, a beginning, a middle, and an end, through which I would plan in more detail what I would be writing when it came time for phase 5, which is prose time. And I considered that each micro scene would be around 222 words long. And I got that number because I wanted each scene to be around 665 words long, which was a division of acts and chapters and parts, because I wanted the novel to be around 80,000 words long. So 80,000 words, each part 40,000 words, divide that by 4, divide that by 5, divide that by 3. And that's how we get those numbers. So that's where I'm at. And then the plan for writing, like the actual prose plan that I'm about to enter now with phase 5, the idea is that Sunday morning I will plan what will be written throughout the week. So I'll look at the phase 4 planning and write out again exactly what I need to be thinking about in a bit more detail, a bit more consideration of particular events and scenes and actions, environmental considerations, all those different aesthetic factors. And then each day of the week then I write around 665 words. And the reason for that is because that's a scene. So I'll do a scene every day. So 3 micro scenes a day. So that's the plan. We'll see how we go. If I do that and I write at that pace of one scene, one 665 allotment of words every day, then by around September I will be finished the book. We'll be finished phase 5, which is draft 1, and then there'll be further drafts after that, but the novel in its form will be finished by around September, October, if I can stick to that plan. And then on Saturday I review, reflect, edit the scene, the act, because the 5 scenes, save it, then move on to the next for the week ahead. So I mean, that's Friday now. Tomorrow morning, Saturday, I guess I'll get a bit of a head start. I'll get a head start on the writing and start planning the prose. I want to get a bit of an aesthetic idea. I know it's going to take me some time to warm up, so it certainly doesn't hurt to have an extra day in front of me. Because I'm a little nervous about starting to write, so I think I should probably even start tinkering tomorrow with some sentence constructions and some words, and then plan it a little more on Sunday, and then actually start on Monday. And I've got a very busy week coming up of travel, with flights and drives and all sorts of things, so I'll see how I go, but there's no reason I shouldn't be able to wake up and do what I've got to do. We will see how I go. That's enough of that. Hope you have a good day, rest of the day, good weekend, and I will see you tomorrow morning for the start of phase 5. Exciting times. We'll see you then.